I don't know what it is. I really is. Every time I hear that, it gets me pumped up for this. Every time. Obviously, hanging out with you guys it's also the great thing, guys. I don't like getting started. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful week of the Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show. I am your humble host, Ed, the Dad Hat Rivera, and with me, my good friends, -1, because now he's going to be set to part-time status. Maybe we'll put him on the bench as because he's never here. But with me, I have today, guys, Donnie Wise, the mayor himself. Mr. Mayor, we are not worthy.
Hello.
How are we doing today, my friend?
I am doing fine. I am rocking my Checkers little hockey patch.
Love it.
Similar to the Charlotte FC type logo there on the hat. Got my Drink Local Hilo Hawaii shirt because of all the chatter today about the Hawaiian breweries y'all had going on.
Just back and forth for like
it wasn't minutes. Everybody. It was just me and Eric. Yeah.
And I'm drinking one that I picked up in the Outer Banks back a few months ago when we were up there. It's from Lost Colony Brewing. It's called Holy Hand Grenade. And it's a Russian Imperial Stout. Yes, Holy Hand Grenade.
9%. Woo.
Yeah.
Is that a Monty Python reference?
It could be.
Holy Hand Grenade.
Someone is trying to just have a wonderful night tonight.
I am trying to knock out the rest of this sinus mess, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go heavy and crush it.
That's the way to do it, my friend. That is the way to do it. All right, and then next is the influencer himself, from parts unknown. Maybe in his kid's bedroom, maybe in the closet. I don't know where you're at today, Eric. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, thanks, Ed. How are you guys?
Oh, you know it, baby. We're living the dream. What are you drinking, my friend? And what hit are we wearing today?
So today I'm going with the 804 Richmond Flying Squirrels hat. Our friend Jesse Barton works for the Flying Squirrels. So I got to represent the Flying Squirrels here today. And then just the normal water. I was telling you guys off air that unfortunately my beer fridge is pretty empty right now. So don't have a whole lot. I need to go stock up a little bit and then I can get back in the game. But right now, just
talking
about
about
the water.
Okay. It's like a car. When it gets a quarter empty, you got to go fill it up.
You got to go fill it up.
Wait till it's down to empty.
I like your shirt though, Donnie. Big fan of breweries in Hawaii, and Hilo has been there a few times, and they now have Hilo Brewing Company, which is really good. Their humpback lager is really, really good.
I was actually just looking this brewery that I got this shirt from. I didn't realize, and I knew it had kind of gone defunct, but it actually merged with Mihana Brewing, so it's all part of that now.
Nice. Got it really quick before we move on to our fourth person tonight. What's going on, Lynn? What's up, Phil? What's up, Mr. Professor? How is everybody doing in the chat room? Love it. All right. Hey, and now obviously our fourth co-host of this wonderful show, Mr. Patrick Larson. How are you today, Mr. Prospector?
I'm doing well. Good to see everybody tonight. Shout out to the chat. Let's see. We're doing the hat and drink thing, right?
Yep. So and the drink thing, as if we don't ask him every time we do this show.
Well, I'm the other guy. I don't, like I'm still trying to learn the traditions.
You're still trying to. You haven't even curved your brim, so we're still.
I haven't even curved the brim, and we're how many years into curved brim media at this point?
Exactly.
Bad boys do bad boy things.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the lone holdout?
Yeah,
that's it. So tonight I am wearing an Omaha Storm Chasers wordmark hat. Like, look at
that thing. That's
clean.
Like 50th anniversary patch on the side.
Is that a Royals?
Go Royals!
Yeah,
Go Royals, yeah. AAA affiliate of the Influencers Kansas City Royals.
I was just saying, you just made Mr. Influencer very happy.
Well, this is a shout out to Top Restore USA. This is a word mark that they did, so shout out to them. And tonight, again, I'm always going against the grain, right? Or I don't have the grain at all in this case. There it is. Nothing if not consistent. So
it looks clear. So I'm gonna guess that's just probably vodka in that bottle.
Yeah, because it's not that frosted color like the Gatorade.
I think it's vodka today. I love it. I love it. And as for me, obviously, guys, like I said, I'm the dad hat, but I am wearing today what is a wonderful dad hat that I got in the mail yesterday that I wanted to share with you guys. It is from the Charlotte Checkers. My good friend, Mr. Mayor, sent that to me. So thank you very much, my friend. I
You're
did
welcome.
tell him that I was going to wear it today. So this thing is very comfy, very nice, and I can wear my glasses with it, which is always a good thing with a lot of the dad hats. What's up, Mr. Beeson? Estrellas Orientales versus Tigres del Licey, which, by the way, the Puerto Rico series is over. My team, those Criollos de Caguas, are the champions, so they are going to be coming up to Miami for the Caribbean series. Very excited. And then, of course, I left it up to my friend today, Eric, to choose the beer. So we went with Kona Brewing Company. So I'm very happy with this one today. So, gentlemen, let's start with baseball today. Why don't we do that? Hall of Fame is set,
Yeah.
how do we feel about this? Because I think that the three people that got in, I'm very happy for, as they should have gotten in. There were some very close ones, right? One of them, just like, that close of just making it, right? So for you guys that don't know or have not seen, Adrian Beltre in with a 95%. Todd Helton, 79.7, Joe Mauer with a 76.1, and then Billy Wagner just missed a cut at 73.8%. And then Gary Sheffield, 63.9, and Andrew Jones, 61.6. And last but not least, Carlos Beltran, 57.1%. So there were some close ones. There were some really close ones. But how do we feel so far about the people that were chosen so far this year for the Hall of Fame?
I like that. I think they all deserve it. I really thought Billy Wagner was going to get in, and personally, I'd like to see Gary Sheffield in there. I always liked watching him play, and I thought he's a fringe. He's in the 10th year of being on the ballot, so I get it taking him a while, but I don't see why leaving him out either.
Yeah,
I really thought him and Billy Wagner would make it a 5-player.
They were close at
year.
first.
Yeah.
They were very close of getting in. I honestly thought that Billy Wagner was going to get in.
Yeah, and this is his 9th year, so I think
That's
next year is his 10th. So one more year to see if he can get in.
So Gary Sheffield now moves over to the other ballot, and then hopefully we'll see if he gets in at that point. I still remember, Gary Sheffield. It was just constant. He was just swung so angry all the time, which I loved watching him when he did that. So, but Eric, tell me what you got. What are your thoughts on this?
So being in Wichita, Texas is the second closest stadium to me outside of Kansas City. So we got down quite a bit to see the Rangers play. Beltre, he's so funny because like anytime somebody tried messing with his head, he'd take his hat off or whatever and try to mess with his hair and anything, he'd always like push them away, and always just seemed like he had a lot of fun out there playing. So enjoyed getting to see him in person anytime we went down to watch the Rangers play. So really cool to see him get in for sure.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And he's always playing around. Like his good friend with, Hernandez over in Seattle, they're always back and forth when they would play each other. So he's always been that kind of person that, was very, who took the game for what it was, an actual, game. So I really enjoy that one. Andrew Jones robbed again by the BBWA. Yep.
I agree with him on that too. I know Andrew Jones hadn't been on the ballot long, but he's been on there a little while. But I thought Andrew Jones probably should be in by now as well. Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like we get to the point where like there are some players that should be in, right? And then I'm gonna ask you guys that question, but I want to get your perspective, Patrick, on so far on the people that got in today.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Todd Helton, to Joe Mauer, and to Adrian Beltre for getting in. First of all, I think 3 good guys that deserve to be in there. I think Adrian Beltre was a no-brainer with those stats that he has.
95.1. That says a lot right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Without even knowing the percentage, though, and you look at just straight at the numbers, it was. With the number of hits that Adrian Beltre had, the power numbers were always there. He was so consistent in when he played between LA and Texas. I mean, you knew what you were going to get. Great defense, gold glove caliber defense.
Yep.
Todd Helton, one of the best character guys in the game. But beyond that, even though he played at Coors Field, he was so consistent with batting for average, and he had power numbers to back it up. You can argue that the thin air at Coors helped him, but I mean, he would hit on the road too. I mean, he had the ability to hit on the road, and obviously he slowed down as he got a little older, but he still was solid. At the very least, and he had such a good resume. I think he deserves to get in. And Joe Mauer, another good guy, and not ever someone that really wowed me with his numbers, but he was just consistent.
Yeah.
He never wowed you with the power numbers, but he always batted for average. He was a great behind the plate, great with the pitching staff. And there's not a lot of. It's good to see a Minnesota Twin make it in, and you don't see that. I mean, you don't see that like all the time. So someone to join like a Harmon Killebrew and people like that. 3 great guys. I'd like to see Gary Sheffield in too. In his day, I mean, I remember he was one of the big pieces in that Florida Marlins team that won the World Series, and he played a role in the Atlanta Braves as well. And we remember his time with the San Diego Padres. So, just a batting stance we'll always remember. And he had some great numbers to back it up too. Yeah. So Andrew Jones, with both Sheffield and Andrew Jones, there's some people that think there's some writers that don't pick them for character reasons, and I'm not going to get into the yay or nay on that. But
we're about to get into it, because that was my question.
No,
we're about to get into this conversation.
Then I won't spoil that. We'll get into that in a minute. But if you look on the field with like Andrew Jones, I mean, arguably the best defensive center fielder of all time, if not certainly one of. And then Gary Sheffield, just, insane power numbers. And, like you said, it looked like he was about to kill someone when he'd swing that bat. But it always amazed me, his bat speed, because to have that kind of batting stance and still get around on a ball like he could, like when he get a hold of one and you knew he got the swing out earlier.
You heard it, you saw it, you knew it was gone.
I love some of the ones he would hit down the left field line, because he would just get around it. He didn't hit a lot of opposite fielders. He would, but they were normally to like left field or center field, and he would just hit some moonshots. So, and Billy Wagner, I think, deserves to be in too.
He will. I think he will.
Everybody in. Yeah, I think he will too. I think next year's his year, but
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But it always depends too on who's and I forget who's up for it next year, but it always depends on who's up for consideration next year. That can always have a bearing on how well or not well people do.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm glad to see 3 good character guys in. 3 guys that are good on the field, and congratulations to them.
Yep. So, all right. So let me ask you this, because this is something that I've been hearing a lot, and that we've been talking about, and I'll be honest with you, like, I had a pretty strong stance on this for a while, right? I've come around. But I want to get you guys' take on this, because I think this is a very interesting, and I also want to hear from you guys out in the chat. Is that you have those players, right? Like, I mean, the problem, the one issue that I'm having is the voters are taking the character of the player in consideration when voting for who they want in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
I think that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Just because they don't like somebody doesn't mean they aren't worthy.
Right. And then, so let's be honest, there's a bunch of racists in the Hall of Fame. There's a bunch of people that have been, abusers of women and all that. So, like, I mean, let's not get this twisted, right? There's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that are in there because of what they did on the field, not because of what they did outside of the field, right?
Right.
So, with having said that, my first question to you guys is, should, in your opinion, if you were to have a vote, right? I'm, the power invested in me, by the Dad Hat Chronicles, right? I'm giving you guys a vote for you guys to vote in the Hall of Fame. Do you guys vote for Barry for Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, these guys that, Mark McGuire's, right? Like Sammy shows, like these guys that we know already use some PEDs. do you vote for those players? Pete Rose, do you vote for Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame, right? Like, I mean, this is a very, there's two camps on this. There's no in between. There's either yes or no. Where do you guys stand on this right now?
Well, I think I'll take the Pete Rose first because that's the easiest one for me.
Mm-hmm.
All of the issues with him are what he did as a manager. There's no evidence he did anything as a player. And people go into the Hall of Fame as players or managers, sometimes both. But I mean, a Joe Torre going in, he's going to go in as a manager, not because of his playing career. Pete Rose should be in there as a player, and his managerial issue is a footnote. Again, we keep saying this all the time. It's a museum. You tell the story. You can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose. Just like Shoeless Joe Jackson. We'll go back to that one too. That's another one that just
Shoeless should be in.
Yeah, I mean, that whole story is the world has changed and evidence changes and all that kind of stuff. So, but then like the PED stuff, we talked about this once before, and my thought on it was the same now as is then. They weren't breaking any rules that were in place because they weren't in place. It was a morality issue, and again, I'm also the one that subscribes to the thing that the PED doesn't make you do anything that much better than you already do it. I mean, these guys were hitting home runs and they were pitching lights out before the PEDs. They didn't turn into some, superhero because of it. Did it help them get healthier faster? Probably. But wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want them to get healthier faster if they can, so they can help your team? So I don't think that that's as big an issue. I've said this, I think, in one of our chats, maybe at some point, texting a while back. Alex Rodriguez deserves to be in as a player. I don't like him too much as a guy. I don't think he's that great as an analyst, but what he did on the field was a Hall of Fame career, and that's how you got to have to separate it and look at it. And that, to me, that's the problem with the Baseball Writers Association, which, as Zach Beeson said, it's a clown organization. They play by their own rules and they act like they're holier than thou, and they're just going to, do what they want to do and everybody else be damned. And I think that's wrong. I think they need to have a vote, but I don't think they need to be the ultimate vote.
Should players have a vote? Like currently, not in the how they usually do, but now,
I'd love to see them have a vote of active 40-man roster players, active, all of the Hall of Famers that are alive get a vote. The baseball writers get a vote, and there needs to be other entities that have voting capacity, not just the baseball writers.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is, but the structure just needs to be somewhat different. I mean, the fact that these guys the baseball writers are basically in sole control of this destiny, this fate, is not right.
I'm with Lynn on this one. Hall of Famers should vote.
Yeah.
Eric, talk to me.
So it's kind of hard to follow up Donnie, what all he had to say, what he said, because he had made a lot of good points. But yeah, I mean, kind of the same. So for me, I was a wee little lad in '98 when the McGuire and Sosa chase was happening. And, obviously back then, since I was younger, I didn't really understand or know what was going on. But I don't think that, like Donnie was saying, that it had that much effect, because that was something that they were, hitting those home runs previous. And so I belonged to a swim club back in the day, and I would make sure that whenever I knew that either one of them was playing a game and it was going to be on TV, that I'd ride my bike home from this swimming pool so I could watch the games play. Oh yeah, Johnny. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so I mean, I agree mostly with what Donnie was saying and all those points where they, obviously it could have had some effect, but to what effect? That much better.
Yeah.
And if anybody could have done it, so if they weren't really looking into it like they later did or whatever. So
yeah, no, I agree. Patrick, talk to me, buddy.
Well, those two, the influencer and the mayor, covered it really well. So there's not a lot that I can add, but I do agree with those points about, I don't think that we can all of a sudden turn this into a perfect human contest that, and make it all about someone's off the field character. It's called the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's not called the Character Ed Hall of Fame. So I think especially in the case of like a Pete Rose, I agree with the mayor on this. That all happened when he was a manager, and like him or not as a person, you can argue that till you're blue in the face. But did he have the kind of impact on the field, and did he have the stats to back it up to be a Hall of Famer? And to me, that's categorically a yes. And to make it just about betting when we're now glorifying betting, and we have FanDuel and all these things, and they're like, I mean, now every time you turn around, it's like bet on this game, and then they're going to say, well, this happens in the game. Well, guess what? There are footballers that bet. There are other things, and those people are not banned for life from the sport. They get a suspension, and maybe several months, but they get a suspension and then it's done. They're allowed back in.
I agree.
Why is Pete Rose not afforded the same opportunity? Again, I'm not saying he's a perfect human. I know that he divides opinion in terms of he has a very grating personality. That's a different thing. Yeah, I mean, if that's what it takes, I just think he needs to be enshrined at some point, because I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. I mean, he's one of the best players of all time, and I think it's long overdue that he gets put in.
All right.
It's just like Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling's another guy that people can't stand personally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very polarizing person since he's been away from the field,
Right.
But you can't deny what he did as a player. And I mean, that's just like we talked about last week. I mean, the fact that the Mets are retiring Strawberry and Doc's jersey numbers. I mean, if they took the same approach that the baseball writers take to the Hall of Fame, they wouldn't retire these guys' numbers because of their drug addictions, and I mean, multiple drug addictions and all this. It's like, yeah, they had
alcohol.
struggles.
They had so much.
They had so much trouble. They've been arrested for things, but you know
Yeah.
what? What they did on the field is what they did on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And that's what they're being honored
And
for.
the fact that they actually did it while they were high, it speaks volumes.
Crazy.
Let's just be honest about that. Okay.
Exactly.
Let me.
and I like what Phil said. I mean, in response to what Phil said about we feel sad when a player, that we remember fondly is not voted in. Yeah, and I'm not saying necessarily in this case just because we liked him as a kid they should be in the Hall. I'm not saying the Hall is just for literally anybody we liked or someone that had a good year. I'm talking about let's look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Let's look at the impact that they had on the field in the game.
Listen, I love Sandy Alomar. He was my favorite player when growing up. That doesn't mean he's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
My favorite player was Jose Cruz Jr., and I can tell you with the 241 lifetime batting average, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Oh, right, exactly.
So like I said, it's to me, it's about the numbers. It's about what kind of impact did you have on the field. Like Hall of Famers are to me like the best players to ever play the game on the field. It's not because if you want to be consistent about character, you're going to have to, like you guys referenced, you're going to have to look at guys that are already enshrined in the Hall. And then we're going to have to do in the court of public opinion,
do a cleansing of the Hall of Fame and see how that goes.
Contest about who passes that moral, who has good enough moral fiber to be in.
Not a whole lot of them.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, and we'll all have different opinions about different players, but it's, if we start doing that, we're opening up a whole new can of worms. So I just think that I don't think that the baseball writers of America many of whom have never put on a batting helmet and don't even know what a home plate is, for them to be the sole decision makers other than the Veterans Committee when you make it to that point. I don't know. I think I think it needs to be an on the field conversation, not off the field.
I agree.
And like Professor Hatter said, do they need to be in the Hall of Fame to be remembered or to tell a story about baseball? I don't think they have to be, but
I think they've earned it.
They've earned it. But I mean, that's just like we talked about last year with Mattingly and Dale Murphy and some of these other guys. I mean, just like talking about Sheffield, I mean, these guys are iconic guys, and you can still tell the story even if they don't make it in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe they're fringe guys, maybe they're on the verge kind of guys, but they're to some extent, some of them are more deserving than others.
Oh, I agree. I'll say this because on my end, right? Listen, I was when I was asked about a year or two ago, I was Dead set. I'm like, no, keep them out, leave them out. They cheated the game, you know. And I'm like, oh, you know, the purity of the game. I've come around this just because Major League Baseball has come around with a lot of things about the game, right? For example, betting. All of a sudden, we're in bed with bettors everywhere, right? You know, like FanDuel and DraftKings, and ESPN has their own ESPN bet, right? So like the fact that you're like keeping players outside because they're betting, it is laughable, right? So I'm starting to, I've come around a lot on this. If you want to, you know, let them in, but, you know, put an asterisk and say, hey, you know, because you got to tell the full story, right? Like from this year to this year, Hall of Fame numbers, blah, blah, blah. From this year to this year, use of PEDs. I don't care how you do it, but they deserve to, at least at the very least, we deserve to have the full story, not the parts that we choose to like, the full story, right? Because that's the Hall of Fame. It gives you the full story of baseball. Right, like we've been talking about, we have people there that have been racist, known racist, and you know there's evidence of that, right? And then you're telling me that you're too high and mighty to keep them outside of the hall because they use PEDs to prolong their careers. That's laughable. Yeah. And like you said, Patrick, you know, these players, these voters, some of them have never even played the game, and they think that they're sitting on a higher, chair than the rest of these players that put their sweat, blood, and tears, you know, from being 15, 16 years old, playing, you know, some of these guys, you know, playing in a different country, right? So, did you know that, by the way, that Jose Cruz Jr. is the head coach at Rice University?
So I did, and funny story for Zach, I was actually in the same hotel as he was when I was in West Virginia, and I tried to find a way to run into him, but I saw some of the Rice baseball players, but I did not see him. I do have his autograph though.
He went knocking on every single hotel door.
Hello. You didn't stand at the front lobby with a big sign.
I told you guys that in confidence.
I can just see Patrick going from the lobby from side to side, just waiting. Oh, look, I'm just waiting for my car, for my Uber.
I do have a giant baseball card with his signature, with his autograph on it, though.
There you go.
Like an oversized baseball card.
Next time, Patrick, go find a velvet rope and just set it out there and stand behind it by yourself, and just like right out there outside the door where everybody goes out to get in the vehicle, and just like if they ask, like, I'm just waiting on Jose Cruz.
Well, everyone else is waiting for his dad to get his autograph. I'm going to say, no, I'm here for Junior.
That's right.
All right. So do we agree that Pete Rose should get in?
Of course, I do.
Okay. What about Bonds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yep.
Manny Ramirez.
Numbers wise for me, yes.
Yeah.
Carlos Beltran.
That one I'm a little iffy on, and it has nothing to do with his antics or anything, but it's just I don't know.
With him,
he's a fringe. He's an edge guy for me.
Beltran is 57% right now.
Yeah, sorry, Eric. I know he started out as a Royal, but I don't know. Like he had really good numbers in Kansas City, but after he left Kansas City, I just never. I mean,
he was overrated for a lot of the second half of his career.
How about this one? And let me hear what you guys think on this one, because this is an interesting one to me. Because he was high, first of all, he was trending up. Some things that are not, again, character issues came out, and then all of a sudden dropped. And I don't know if you guys know who I'm going to say. Omar Vizquel.
Yep. I always thought Omar Vizquel was a Hall of Fame shortstop. As a player, he was fantastic. I mean, to me, maybe he's in that same grouping, like with a Murphy and a Mattingly, where he was really good for a period of time there. Maybe wasn't the greatest, but he was really, really, really good. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm doing a little bit of research here. My son just mentioned. So Rice is now in the AAC. So it's possible. I'm going to check to see. They may be playing in Wichita this year. And if they're in Wichita, maybe I get to see your guy coaching Rice. But I'm checking the schedule right now to see if they play here.
I'm not saying go Rice. I'm just saying go Jose Cruz Jr. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
You're not
saying.
going to vote for. You're not going to.
I
root
can't
for the
wait.
Shockers.
I can't wait for the influencer to text us all a picture of him and Jose Cruz Jr.
Oh my God,
Oh,
hugging
yeah,
him.
I'm doing that for sure.
No, he's going to say he asked for my autograph.
Yes, Rose. No, so I dislike how he handled the QSPED usage. He brags about most home runs of any Cubs, but no one else really acknowledged him. Is that an awkward situation? This is an interesting one.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Sosa's
look,
career as a
Rafael Palmeiro, same thing.
yeah, I mean, Sosa's career in totality, I'm not sure for
That
me
warrants the
that it
Hall of
warrants
Fame.
Hall of Fame
His-
worthiness. I mean, he had that moment with McGuire. He had a couple of years stretch there, but I just don't know that his whole career amounts to that.
Yeah.
Because
he had those lean years with like he started out with the Rangers and with the White Sox.
yeah,
And then
That's the one that no one knows about it, right?
Yeah.
Because
right.
yeah,
not only
exactly.
lean years, but he was lean himself.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say, if you look at old 80s baseball cards with him in it, it's I mean he's just
He went from this to this.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of us do that as we get older, so that's
No.
not all.
Tristan, I just got the thumbs up again. I don't know how this thing is happening.
Let's see the
I think
balloons
you have it
again.
set up to- I think you have like self boost put on here, or is that a rising content creator thing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see
Yeah.
if I can do this now.
Yeah.
So, and I look like a total idiot moving my hands, spirit hands.
Patrick,
Don't worry, if the influencer feels like it, he'll have it in his box come next week. He knows people.
the here in 2 months, Rice is coming. End of March, Rice is playing here in Wichita. So I'm gonna try to go to that series.
There it is.
I'm gonna meet your guy for you.
Ooh, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Patrick. You might have to. You won't even have to miss work.
Yeah, he just texted us that thing.
You wanna come back to Wichita?
Hey,
He's
I like
thinking about it.
Wichita.
Look at him. He's thinking
I've
about
actually-
it.
Yeah. Hey, I've actually been to Wichita, so I can say how much I like it.
You've also seen X Stadium. We snuck in there.
Yeah, we did.
The lady's like, "You got to pay," and we're like, "Could I just show him around?" And she's like, "Yeah, just come in." So he got to
Yeah.
see Wichita
Yeah.
State's baseball
Again,
stadium.
he knew people.
That's right.
He knew people. Like I would never gotten in unless I
You
was like,
influence
with the right
someone
people.
to let someone in for free.
That's
Eric,
right.
just
He did.
tell that to the wife.
And I was gonna say, and I think wasn't it like a high school baseball tournament that was going on or something like that? Or
Yeah, because you came in what, like June or July. So yeah, it wasn't anything that wasn't college. It wasn't the normal collegiate summer. I think that was all done. And so yeah, I think it was just some high school showcase or something.
I think that lady thought that he was like some big high profile agent, and then he just had some riffraff with him, and
He's just like
kidding.
behind you. Was like, I just feel sorry for him. So can we just let him in?
he felt sorry for me for like 4 days. He just he felt bad. He goes, all he wants to see is the original Pizza Hut. That's it.
So Professor Hatter did throw out Sosa is number 9 on the all-time home run list with 609. So
Yeah,
that's the one thing he has.
yeah,
I mean, that's a big thing too. Top 10
It's a
home
huge
run
thing.
list.
yeah. It is.
And
I guess, and I'm glad Zach's talked about Vizquel. I didn't realize. Wow.
Gonna eat all
Highly recommend if you come to Wichita to go to the Doodah Diner, best breakfast spot in town. They have really good monkey bread, and we took Patrick.
What is monkey bread?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did eat an inordinate amount of monkey bread.
monkey bread's some good stuff.
It is.
What is monkey bread? This great name. What the hell is monkey
Ed.
bread?
Ed, you've never had monkey bread?
No.
Do you want to describe it, Eric?
No, you can go for it.
How do I?
Let's not
describe
tell him and keep him in suspense.
it? Google it.
I'm about
No,
to Google
no,
it,
go
all
ahead
of
and tell
you.
him. Go ahead and tell him.
Google it. No, I don't know if I can describe this correctly. So it's, well, first of all, it's bread. And it's
First of all, it's bread.
yeah.
First of all,
Yeah,
thanks for the
Yeah, you're welcome. It's not monkey. don't
monkey
worry.
bread
Yeah.
is a soft, sweet,
It's got
sticky
cinnamon.
pastry
Yeah,
served in the
it's just-
United
it's
States for
bread.
breakfast as a treat.
Got like cinnamon
consists-
and cinnamon sugar and
Oh,
does it have
okay.
molasses and
It's
yeah.
like a pull apart
It's
cinnamon.
like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
all
that's
into
what
little
Shannon
pieces.
just
all in
said.
a big thing with pull
Yeah.
apart. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you, Shannon.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
why.
Shannon.
Why
Thank you,
why
Shannon.
is she signed in on YouTube with her maiden name on there? She doesn't even want to be a prophet right now.
Oh,
Dang.
you are
Hey,
in
I
the
was
doghouse,
Mrs.
dude.
Prophet. I was the only one of these 4 that picked the Chiefs.
I was
so
getting
don't
ready to
know
say
why
the
you're-
same thing. You even picked the Chiefs over all of us too.
We'll get into
Wow.
our football
She
discussion
must
here
have.
soon,
She
but
must have thought that you were the only one to pick Buffalo.
no.
I picked Buffalo. God, do I regret
She's
that
like,
pick.
I'm changing my name.
You can yeah, I know. You keep
Yeah.
embarrassing me. There it is. See, you better go and apologize. As a matter of fact, take your headphones off, go apologize, give her a hug and a kiss, and then come back.
Go Ravens.
Whoa.
Dang.
Yep, there goes that. Nope, never mind. I tried, Shannon.
What's that? What's
I
that
tried.
song? What's that song lyric? It's too late to apologize.
Right.
She's just gonna put the baby in there and shut the door and say goodnight.
Yeah,
Probably.
You just
have
stay in
at
there.
it. Have fun. Turn the light.
It is pretty comfortable.
Oh, enjoy the couch.
Quit digging,
What-
Eric.
what-
Quit
Yeah,
digging.
no,
I was gonna say,
Eric. I would
I
just
don't-
quit right
I
now.
don't mind. I
This
sleep on the couch a decent amount. It's comfortable.
Eric, this is not the time. This is not the time.
Stop.
She
Range of
likes-
Eric picked Casey over Bills.
Johnny.
He wants to live.
she likes to spread out in the bed, so she likes when I'm not when I'm traveling and not home, so she can have the bed to herself.
Go back, no. Oh.
Oh man, it's
Whoa.
on in the household now.
I feel like my son's messaging now and not her.
Who was it? Did you guys see
Zach was on.
the yeah, he did, right? That was on.
Yeah.
But the Pat McAfee show, when what's his name, the tight end for the 49ers?
Oh,
George Kittle?
Yeah, Kittle.
Go Pack, yeah, Kittle, go Pack, go the home. I was like, wow. That was rough.
He hasn't even
Eric,
been doing much.
you ever been to Bite Me Barbecue near downtown Wichita?
Yes, but it's Eric with the C. But yes, Zach with a K. I have been just messing with you. Yes, Zach, I have.
Oh my
Hey, he's
God.
making enemies everywhere today.
Eric
My-
is just on fire. Yes, last week was Patrick. Today is Eric.
My
Eric
best
will be
friend
the one
used
who
to
chose
live right.
violence.
My best friend used to live right near Bite Me Barbecue. Plus, it's right across from and Don, you need to come from Norton's Brewery, one of the better breweries here in town. It's right across the street from there.
Awesome.
I'm so glad that I can picture what you're talking about because I've actually been there.
Phil, I'm not. I'm letting you know right now. I'm not picking the Ravens. It's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna continue with this.
Hey, keep that until Thursday.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
All right. He said, my bad.
I'm just
Eric.
messing with you, Zach.
He's
All right, guys. We've had some good talk regarding baseball. We're going to come back to baseball. Obviously, we're guys. February is just right there around the corner. Pitchers and catchers starting to show up, so we're going to have to start talking. Looking at our teams, what's going on, minor league baseball, all that stuff. So hey, Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a little extra something I'm going to show you guys at the end of the show. So keep it. Stay tuned for that at the end of the show. Then go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about before we got off of baseball? I was just gonna say, what are everybody's thoughts on what Somerset dropped on us today?
I was just, you are like you and me right here, buddy. I was just gonna say before we go
Make
into
sure everybody
football,
out there on the chat's aware of it. I'm sure most of them have seen it,
Yeah.
but man, that's some good stuff.
the
Yeah.
Somerset Patriots, and kudos to Fooser Designs, right? Ryan Foos, man, that was so clean.
That's
Oh,
cool. That's a cool little alternate identity right there.
It
It
is.
really is. I thought about doing a pre-order, but I have like boxes here right now that haven't even been open and I put it under my desk so my wife doesn't see it. So
See, I'm not much of a pre-order guy. I'll buy the hat probably, but I don't know, just where
yeah,
it's not
I'm
going
gonna
to come
wait.
out for a while. I don't want to just like, here, hold on to my money, but not send me anything type of
Right.
thing. So I'll probably get it. But we've obviously talked about this quite a bit already, but I'd love that alternate mark of the pancakes with the little baseball as butter on top. I love that. That's such a cool logo. And Ryan Foos with Fooster Sports does great. And then instead of steak and eggs, the state and eggs. Where
Where was that at? I didn't even see that.
You haven't
There's
seen
a
alternate
different
marks?
word mark. Yeah. You got to look at all of them because he did
Oh,
some different
okay.
ones.
Donnie,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Donnie, I posted like a picture of it on my Instagram too.
I saw that picture, but when I went there,
Did you-
all I saw was the Jersey Diner stuff. Maybe I didn't dig deep enough into their.
Did you
page.
swipe over to the multiple pictures?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah,
gotta
they
do.
have some alternate
Okay.
marks, and there's some really cool ones. Yeah, it's steak and eggs.
Yeah.
It's steak, but it's in the shape of Jersey, and
Yeah.
the pancakes with the little butter on top in shape of a baseball.
Beautiful.
And then the little coffee pot on there. He just
And all
Food-
orders
food's
include a
great.
vintage diner hat. So just so
Yeah.
you guys know,
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
My dad grew up in New Jersey, so we'd always go up to New Jersey to see to see them, and where my grandmother lived, there literally was a place called the Jersey Diner. And so it kind of brought back like childhood memories for me, because I used to go to the diners all the time in New Jersey when I was little.
Very
growing up, so-
50s, but also at the same
Yeah.
time very Jetson like. You
Yeah.
guys remember the Jetsons with the little stars on it? I'm looking at it right now. It's like, man, this thing is like, oh, and by the way, I love diners. When I was
Yeah.
up in Cleveland, dude, when I was working for AT&T, it was like, for my lunch. Oh, that's what it's diners.
Yeah.
Whoa, love diners.
Yeah, but Ryan knocked it out of the park. I mean,
He did. He really did an awesome job.
He does a lot of the time, but he just
He killed it.
yeah, he did. He killed it. I mean, and I love the colors too that they used. They're very, very appropriate for this kind of identity. So
I'm looking at it right now. My God, that
Yeah.
baby blue.
shout out
Them
to
pink.
Somerset, and shout out to Ryan Foose.
Yeah, for real. Oh God, this is so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Listen, I like it so much that I did pre-order, so I won't even lie. I did pre-order that thing.
I'm not surprised. This is my face.
I
I'm
know.
surprised.
What color you shocked, right?
Oh, super shocked that you
I know,
actually
I know that,
pre-ordered a hat.
I know that Zach Beeson is shocked too.
Yeah. So one of your, we're still waiting for your final count on your hats, my friend. We're still waiting for that count.
You're going to be waiting a while. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, well, you better start going on that, okay? Joe even says that he loves it, man. It's a whole family affair of profits tonight. I love this.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got phoned all my family
You
and said,
want-
"Hey, tune in Tuesday and Thursday nights."
Yes,
go.
let's go. Let's do this.
Does that mean you're on the big screen?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
my son said that Gallo signed with the Nationals. Gallo's pretty good. I don't understand because the Nationals aren't really contending right now. Oh, there we go. She switched
There it
over
is.
to her Twitter from.
She got married again.
What did I? s-
Eric, don't say
Did she-
anything. Just say, good. Thank you, honey. I love you. Honey, I
Did
love
she-
you.
Did she change it back because Joe's on here, or why did she change her name back all of a sudden?
Probably because Joe, you're just not helping
Did you get a new
yourself.
shovel for Christmas that you're trying to?
I know, it's like, dude.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Oh my God, this is too good. I love this. Thank you guys. You guys are keeping me. Yep.
Uh,
See, exactly. Yep. Because of Joe.
Yep.
All right, guys. Let's
Her
get
favorite
into.
prophet.
All right, let's get into the NFL. The weekend had some interesting games. I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, I'm at a loss for words for the San Francisco game. That was like an interesting game. Like, it was very close all up until it wasn't.
Yeah, Green Bay
Right.
should have won that game.
They
Man,
should have won.
they were the
that
better team.
Detroit, Tampa, again, very interesting until the end. The one that wasn't even close was the Baltimore game. That was not even close of it.
Well, it wasn't until halftime.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
yeah,
at halftime they said, "All right, guys, let's just."
Something I noticed with the bye teams is, well, not all the bye teams, but at least in Baltimore's case, it's like it took them a half to shake off the rust, and then Lamar Jackson really came out to play in the second half. I mean, because he was fine in the first half, but he really showed up in the second half and just really dominated the game, because I thought the Texans did a pretty good job containing him in the first half. And then, like I said, in the second half, it was just all Ravens, and the Texans just fell apart.
Yeah,
And,
they did.
Yeah, and
Another one that fell apart, the Bills,
yeah,
right
Yeah.
at the end. They
Credit-
should have. They should have won that game.
Yeah.
It was their
Well, that-
game to lose.
yeah.
And,
mean-
and to not put that's not on the kicker either. I mean, a lot of people are like wide right again, but the second and third down passes, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, why are you trying to go for the end zone? Everybody underneath was wide open. He could have got 2 more 10-yard chunks if nothing else.
And the
I
Bills
mean,
had chances. The Bills caught some breaks in that game too, and they couldn't take advantage of them. I mean,
Do that
Eric-
fumble forward.
Yeah, like Eric, I think you made that point in our chat about the fact that like for example, that fumble into the end zone that ended up being a touchback. I mean, what a break that was for Buffalo, and then you do a 3 and out. It's
yeah,
I mean, you've got to in a game
You
like
wasted
that
a great opportunity.
yeah.
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 And against a good team like the Chiefs, you've got to take, you've got to take advantage of that. Uh-oh.
So
My comment. Nope.
nope, don't even.
Nope.
We're not going to say anything. We're just going to go ahead
Oh.
and moving on up.
Mm-mm.
Professor
Eric, tell
Hatter
me,
making enemies here.
yeah, right. Hey, Professor, calm down, bro. Let's just start by the Ravens Texans, right? Until the half, it was tie at the half.
Yeah.
It really was. And, like you
Yeah.
said, Patrick, it was like, 10-10. Third quarter, Ravens scored 7. All right, cool. We're still within distance. And then fourth quarter was like, all right, we'll see you guys. 17 points. Bye.
Yeah, they turned it on, and I think Texans got in a little bit of a panic. I think, and
They're a
just
young
started.
team.
They started. Yeah, I mean, they just started trying to force some things, try to get
Yeah.
it back in chunks.
Yeah.
And they should have stayed to what got them there, right? They
Right.
didn't have a care in the world. They were the dominant team. Look what they did to the Browns. Like, I mean, they completely obliterated the Browns, and it just, they just didn't play.
They went from but think about it. They went from winning a game to drop to the second pick of the draft last year to within 2 games of the Super Bowl. I mean, that team is ready to roll for a few years right now. They're just going to a few more pieces. Look out.
So let me ask you this, because it could, it was the same thing with the Browns, right? There was success early on, and then the year after that, drop off. So do we expect a drop off from this team?
I don't know.
I don't know. D'Amico Ryans is such a good coach.
Well, so is the head coach for the Browns, or the Bengals. Is that right?
No, I'm kidding.
I just think
because they're not with the Colts, buddy. Okay.
I think Stroud is a much more matured guy at his age than people thought coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he handled. I mean, dude didn't throw any interceptions. I mean, he is playing some really efficient football. And if they can get a few more weapons, and maybe defense is not bad, but they could add. I mean, they just need a few pieces on both sides of the ball, and look out. I mean, they did a lot with
they have a lower pick because with the Browns. So
right.
I mean, they'll get somebody.
Yeah.
And Mike Sellers just texted me what CJ Stroud went to a great school. Okay, so he's wanting to get that across. So sorry for looking at my phone. I just wanted to reiterate to the chat what Mike Sellers just texted me. And the player of the weekend was Kadarius Toney. What a performance off the on the bench. Kadarius Toney was outstanding.
True story. Hey, Eric, let me turn it to you, buddy. Let's talk about your game that you were watching.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool.
There were some really bad calls, as there always are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Donnie and I talked about it quite a bit that night during the game. That early on, 4th down and 1.
Yeah.
First of all, the 49ers were offsides. Didn't call that. Second of all, Jordan Love had a bad spot. Should have still had the ball. That was the first time then that the 49ers went down to score after that when they got the ball back. So should have been, I don't think it was 1st and goal, but like 1st and 10 from 15 or maybe just outside the 10.
Yeah.
And instead they, turned the ball over and San Francisco went down to score. And then, of course, there was a play where Purdy was still in the pocket and threw it 30 yards out of bounds with nobody in sight, and they didn't call intentional grounding at all.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to say everything was on the refs because, we were in control pretty much the entire game.
Until the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And so obviously everybody's talking about Tyler Bass missing the field goal for Buffalo, but having Anders Carlson, who's Daniel Carlson's brother, rookie kicker for the Packers, he missed, I think, a field goal in 4 straight games and 10 of his 12 games. I don't know. You have a kicker who's a rookie in a big spot there. And you always want to usually bring in the young guys and develop them. But in those type of situations, I'd almost rather have everybody's like, why didn't you just bring back Mason Crosby? He was with the Giants this year. He kicked a little bit late in the season for the Giants.
Keep going. Just keep going. Don't even react. Keep going. Stay focused.
Focus.
But yeah,
Focus.
I feel like, if Anders Carlson would have made that field goal, would have been a 7-point game. So then when San Francisco went down to tie it, and they easily drove down the field because Joe Barry's defense, and they need to get rid of Joe Barry, but that's a completely different story. So if the game would have been tied instead of being down by 3, then Jordan Love would not have made that throw. He obviously knew he shouldn't have made that throw at the end anyways. But then he had a chance where if it's a tie game, you're going short little out routes to the sideline and not trying to pick up any big chunk yardage down the middle of the field. You're going to keep it away from the middle of the field so you can get out of bounds and try to kick the game-winning field goal with no time if it was tied. But because we're down, that's why he tried to force that throw that was way off balance and, wasn't even close to Packers receiver. But yeah, what Zach's saying there is early in the game, Darnell Savage had it in his hands and probably could have had a pick 6 that would have made it a 10-0 game. But instead,
wasn't it a couple of times he's had the opportunity in doing a game to had multiple
Keyshawn Nixon had one late in the game that he should have intercepted. So yeah, and I, like I said prior, that once I found out that it was raining that game, I was not happy about that because for whatever reason, teams usually play pretty sloppy in the rain. That Ravens Steelers game to end the regular season. I know the Ravens had all their starters on rest, but just the whole game seems sloppy, and I don't know. I feel like it's not a lot easier, but it's easier to play in snow, I feel like, than rain at times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rain. But yeah, Green Bay had plenty of opportunity. Should have cashed in.
They didn't.
They didn't. So we're youngest team in the NFL. So, still have a lot to look forward to. Need to shore up the offensive line some. One of our best offensive linemen, Zach Tom, went out in the game and never came back in. And so that kind of changed things up. But they're talking about getting, maybe not re-signing Aaron Jones, but he ended with 5 straight 100-yard rushing games. So, yes, I do. So the couch is looking better and better by the minute. But we'll see. I feel like they need to re-sign Aaron Jones. He's obviously one of the oldest on the team by far, but just to finish,
he breaks experience
when and when he was healthy this year, the last 5 games, each game well over 100 yards rushing each game, including both games in the playoffs. I mean, he just has that experience, and so I think he needs to have that so they have some type of a big leader. Now, all these guys are going to be, Jordan Love's in like his 4th year, but just his first year really playing. So, I mean, he's a quarterback, so he needs to be a leader. But when you have somebody like Aaron Jones, who's still, getting it done out there when he's healthy, I think they should bring him back. But yeah, very disappointing because they should have won that game, gave it away there at the end. So
sorry, buddy.
And Jair Alexander's still my captain. Just so clear.
Yeah, well, bring him back too if he can stay healthy. And then one thing they did say as well. So we've had hamstring injuries this year with Christian Watson, and Eric Stokes on one of the corners, and so they're sending them to some Wisconsin clinic to do research to see why they keep having these hamstring injuries recurring, and are going to do a whole new approach this offseason now that they know, because they're way ahead of schedule as far as how they feel like they could have finished this season and where they thought they would be here within a couple years. And so they're going to, put it all in this off season, and hopefully, we'll see what happens next year.
Well, that's the thing with Green Bay, like the Texans, they're young. They got further than anybody expected this year.
Those are the 2 teams that no one expected them to be in a playoff. Let's just be honest.
This is a ton of experience that will help both Love and Stroud. And those are going to be 2 teams that are going to be in the mix for a while, I think.
And damn it, if I don't say it, another team, the same team, another good quarterback for the damn Packers.
That's right. Go Pack, go. Lynn's over here saying Purdy because he went to Iowa State, but he didn't he didn't play that good of a game for the most part. I know we let him on that last drive, but again, how much is that with Joe Barry's defense playing 17 yards off the line of scrimmage instead
Again,
of playing up
that's the same thing we
get
keep
chunk
talking about. Like,
yardage and
yeah, why do you keep all these corners all so far back out?
because it's
Yeah.
Joe Barry.
Yeah.
Jesus. Same
and
with the Cowboys.
Yeah, Purdy's another one. I mean, he's still relatively young in his career. I mean, we're seeing the makings of the next 10 years worth of top quarterbacks right here.
Oh, the NFL, it's
So
looking
out of,
so good.
out of Eric's analysis, what I'm getting is he loves what's going on in Green Bay, and it's not going to be Purdy for San Francisco.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks
We
for the
can't talk
pity laugh, Mayor.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and bypass that one. That would just, we'll talk about, for next, those 2 games coming up. So we can't talk about that yet. All right, guys, but let's move on to the Buccaneers and Lions, right? That was an interesting game. That was actually a really good game. That was the best one out of the whole series,
Yeah.
Glad someone
because
here for
And
the
it was
fun.
it was way closer than it should have been.
shout out up here for the punch out. Really punny.
Some people
Patrick.
appreciate it. Ed just straight dissed me, but we won't talk.
I don't know
about
what you're
that.
talking about. Colts. Hit the Colts. So anyways, guys,
Rest gave you the game.
yeah,
Excuse
I
me.
pay them. I pay them.
Mm.
I pay them. Okay.
You and Baker.
Hey,
Anyway.
did I pick against Baker this game? Did I?
You did.
You
I
did.
did. I told you guys.
Yeah.
Did
You
you
turned
tell
your
the
back on your
audience
best
who won the
friend.
picks this week?
I have not.
Okay.
It was you who won.
Oh, it was. Go me.
Yes.
Good job.
Yep, you
Man.
did.
Only because
did.
you Kansas City.
It worked.
That Kansas City
Yeah.
game was one.
See,
that
Shannon, I was
killed
the only one that picked the Chiefs, and so I won the picks this week.
us. Yeah.
She already
Should've.
said she loves your
Anyways,
husband. You're already back in the
yeah,
good
she already
graces.
said she loves you. Calm down.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
back in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Detroit really played down in that game. And I don't know if it was, kind of keeping things close to the vest for them or what, but they really should have throttled a little bit on Toronto on Tampa.
Tampa?
Bay. Yeah.
I got
Hey.
We're not watching
I'm
hockey
here-
here. Or
the
see
Blue
Blue
Jays-
Jays, the Blue Jays, I'm here for it. Let's go.
I don't know where that came from. It's just one of those things. I think, Baker still, he got Tampa farther than anybody thought they would go as well. So kudos to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Detroit better play a whole lot better this coming week. And maybe they were trying to save a little bit in the tank for next week. I don't know.
Well, they just
I would
signed
say
Zach
that's the
Ertz
line.
as their tight end because we were just talking about this. Malaporta has to be because he was hobbling all over the place.
Yeah.
So he must not be 100%. And they finally figured out, I was like, oh, we might want to sign somebody else just in case, because it's not looking good if we don't have anybody as a tight end against San Francisco, which, by the way, that's a really good defense. So that's going to be an interesting game. But that's something for Thursday, not for tonight.
Real quick though, what do y'all think about the idea of bringing a guy in like for the championship game and then the Super Bowl? I mean, that's basically like signing a guy to come play in the divisional series and then the World Series. I mean,
well, he's already played enough games, didn't he? He didn't play enough games to meet the playoff requirements.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean, just what are your thoughts on being able to bring in somebody like that in?
It feels like a Terrell Owens, Antonio Brown move.
Right.
I'm okay with it. I don't see what the issue is. If
Okay.
someone's injured, go for it. Like in baseball, right? You can't play them if they haven't played, for a certain amount of games throughout the year in order to earn that, right? But if they've earned it, I don't have any issue. And Arizona, we knew Arizona sucked anyways. They weren't going to go anywhere, so they were like, "Yep, you can go." And now he's fresh on top of that. Oh my Lord!
But could you imagine a baseball team signing somebody that's a free agent that was with another team just to come in for the playoffs? Because I mean, they can't do that. So it's kind of that's the analogy I was trying to make there. Is like you're in the division series, and all of a sudden you get said home run hitter from Cardinals that didn't make the playoffs or whatever, just to come in for two series. That's seems odd.
Yeah.
Well, and then what Lynn's saying, he better be a Josh Dobbs with the playbook because Yeah, she makes a good point because he's got to learn their schemes. And so good point, Lynn. But I don't know. I thought that the Lions offense played really well against the Buccaneers. The defense left a little to be desired. But I mean, that's, I think, been the story of the season. But I thought Goff played really well. I like the two-headed monster of Gibbs and Montgomery.
They ran. They couldn't stop the run. I think that's what they did.
Right.
They just ran the clock out.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown played well. I mean, he's made some really clutch catches in the playoffs. I mean, he's kind of he's made some big catches in both games to kind of get them over the line. And I think, I mean, San Francisco didn't do anything to make me think that Detroit doesn't have a chance.
Oh yeah.
I think that Detroit has every chance to go to San Francisco and get a win.
I mean, Green Bay exposed a lot of stuff for San Francisco.
Yeah, they sure did.
Help Detroit. Yeah.
If anything, that's why I agree. If anything, Green Bay, we're like, oh, here's the blueprint.
Yeah,
and I actually think Detroit's defense will do a better job of slowing down. I don't think they can stop, but slowing down McCaffrey a little bit.
Yeah.
Can anybody really slow him down? Like, I mean, stop him at the very least.
He's got that Carolina blood. He's got that Carolina blood in him.
Oh, what could have been.
Sorry, Mayor. Oh, that's right.
Green
We didn't
Bay.
even talk about that. How about the new GM in Carolina? Huge news.
This is not the offseason. This is not the offseason. This is not.
I love some Dan Morgan.
The mayor. Yeah.
I think Eric wanted to say something about this one. So go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just gonna say that McCaffrey had 2 touchdowns against Green Bay, but for the most part, I felt like he wasn't. I mean, he was effective, but nothing that I felt like stood out like he was the dominant player in the game. So
yeah, they neutralized him except for that one big run. He kind of got through there. I mean, that was a hell of a blocking scheme they had there, and he just shot through that.
Yeah.
But
which one? The one with Ayuk blocking the back? That one?
Well, that's true. There was that. You're right.
Sorry.
Well, we're not
talking about the.
That's why the hole was so big.
How about
You're
those
right.
Chiefs?
We're still not bitter about this game at all, but it's fine. It's cool. Anyway, look at the time. Hey guys, we got one more game to talk about.
Well, the Chiefs offense played well.
I feel bad for the Bills, man. I'm sorry.
Do you,
I do.
Do you though?
Who, me?
Yeah. Do you really feel bad?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see. Honest to God, ask my wife. I wanted to see the Bills win just because I just did not want to hear another Taylor Swift comment. Listen, I get it. They're dating. Good for them. That's awesome.
That's what Jason Kelsey did. What he did to take it off the shine off of her,
which is amazing. The Kelsey brothers. I mean, if
God.
you don't love those guys, he's a surefire, like right there, shoe in Hall of Fame right there for Kelsey.
Yeah,
and I heard the next day they were talking. I mean, all the radio was talking about Jason. And Dan Patrick had the best take on that. He's like, it's a business decision. Jason Kelsey made a business decision for the Kelsey brothers, and that's what he did. That is all about content. That is all about popularity and their podcast and everything else.
100%.
Jason Kelsey made a business decision on that.
If I was in his shoe, I would have done the exact same thing.
And I'll tell you guys this. I took some NyQuil at halftime. I didn't even see the second half. And the only thing I even saw the next day about the game was Jason Kelsey. I didn't see crap about how the game worked out. Everything was about Jason Kelsey.
There you go.
That tells you about that game.
All time, in my opinion. Look at that, Eric.
This dude's been around for 5 days. Like he's seen a lot of sinners in his day.
He's no Jeff Saturday.
Well, slow down. He is
former Green Bay Packer Jeff Saturday or Colts Jeff Saturday?
Both.
Whichever one win him the Super Bowl.
Former Colts center Jeff Saturday.
Well, I mean, he was at Green Bay too.
He was. But it's Kelsey. It's Kelsey.
He didn't like Favre's hands. He had to go get somebody else's hands under him.
Oh, wow. Thank God this is a late night show.
He wanted to get indoors. He was tired of the frozen tundra of Brett Favre's fingers.
He was like, this is too cold, bro. I can't do this. Hey, Zach, it's time for you to go to bed, buddy.
This is a family show.
It is not a family show. This is why the show is at 9:00 at night.
It's after 10 o'clock. We passed the 10 o'clock hour.
We're prime time now, baby.
Have a good night day.
Night day. I just sent my daughter up to bed a long time ago. That she ain't watching this show. I can't even. I just lost all train of thought. Another one. Golly. Oh, have mercy.
So for me, for the game, the last game of the weekend. So that's true. We are.
We all are.
I said it on Thursday. The reason why I went with the Chiefs is because one, they're still the defending champs, so somebody has to beat the champs. But also, I knew Mahomes going on the road for the first time in the playoffs. He was out to prove something.
Yeah,
and so obviously he did. There was some opportunities where, and I guess I don't know if we have that much time left, but with the fumble into the end zone by McCole Hardman, what do you think the call is? I heard somebody online or read somebody online said, give it back to the offense, but then move them back to like the 20 or 25, or do you give it to them right where they were at, like the 1 or 2, or from the original line of scrimmage where the play started with? Because most of the time those are going to be down by the goal line. Now you could have some 90-yard plays where they fumble into the end zone, but most of the time there'd be. Any thoughts on how to change that rule?
I wouldn't change it.
I do.
I wouldn't change it. I think you got to hold on to that ball, and it doesn't happen that often, but when it happens,
no.
That's just personally, I wouldn't change it.
No,
I know it's harsh, but I wouldn't.
Where's my popcorn? Where's my popcorn?
Here's the thing. It happened against Cleveland. Same thing. Kansas City, which should have been flagged for the head-on collision at the end, and which caused that fumble to go into the end zone, and Cleveland lost the ball, and eventually we lost the game. We should have won that game, but of course they gave that ball to Kansas City with an illegal hit. So no, get rid of the rule. Put the ball at the 20. No, hell no.
Don't worry, the referees gave you a game against the Colts, so you made up for it.
No, I wanted that game in the playoffs. That's the game I wanted. I didn't care about the regular season. We would have been in the playoffs anyways, with or without the Colts game.
I mean, if anything, if you're going, I mean, you can't give the ball back to the offense. They fumbled the ball. If anything,
they recovered it.
If you fumble it, and it goes out of bounds,
it belongs to the offense.
I understand that if it goes out of bounds, but if it goes through the end zone, that's. I mean, anytime the ball goes through the end zone, that's a touchback. Worst case, if you want to do it, give them the ball where the fumble happened. So
I guarantee you this.
So now
is changing.
It's a change of possession, and
the
the defense takes over, or the other team takes over right there at the 1 yard line. I mean, at least you got a chance to try and get a safety, or you.
That's an antiquated rule that should be gone. No,
I don't feel.
Listen, Shannon,
she just uses that same argument for everything. Don't let it be that close.
But that was the thing, though. That was a play that changed the whole complexion of that whole game. Cleveland was going to score the game if he would have not had an illegal hit on top of that, and then forced a fumble, and the fumble went out of bounds into the end zone. It should have belonged to Cleveland, but the rule says it's a touchback, which annoyed the hell out of me because then we lost the game. But it is what it is.
Outside of that game, do you care about this rule?
I think it's a stupid rule.
I mean, but before that game, how did you feel about this rule? Honestly,
it's a stupid rule.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
I've always thought it was.
I don't have a strong feeling about it either way. I mean,
he will when the Colts do it next year. And
I was gonna say that.
I mean, there's a lot of stupid rules.
That way.
Football has a lot of stupid rules.
The Colts invent ways to lose. So I
honestly. I think this is one of those things where it's rare that it happens, but when it happens in a spot where
in a
somebody
playoff game.
Well, it's happened in non-playoff games too.
Get her, Joe.
Easy to say you don't have the game be that close when your team gets all the calls, Shannon.
There you go, get her.
Wow.
The key is don't fumble the ball. Just don't fumble the ball.
Cleveland game. He had the ball. He had it to go and score. That was the whole point. But the dude just went with the crown of his head, hit him, illegal hit, not called. That the referee was in front of him, and he didn't even I didn't see anything.
Well, then you should be fussing about the illegal call, not the.
But the fumble rule still sucks because the defense never recovered the ball. it went out of bounds, just like this game with the Bills and Chiefs. That ball went out of bounds. That ball should not belong to the defense because the defense never recovered it.
Okay.
I'm a little fired up now. See, today now is my
know,
turn.
I said maybe we don't have that much time left. I should have just left that as is. So
Thanks, Eric.
about the Chiefs Bills.
As Donnie just chugs the rest of his beer.
So
Hey,
Sean
well, we
McDermott,
got Daniel. We
Does
got
he stay
Daniel
in
on here
Buffalo?
saying this is a good rule. So
No,
that's
out of here.
another family member. So I just brought all the family over here. Also,
Dang.
Daniel, you should update your Facebook profile picture. If that's of your kid's like 13 now.
Yeah, and he's got a creepy peeking eye there. So
And I was about to say,
I
is
think
there a
they finally
baby? Is
killed
there a
the tuck
baby on
rule.
Facebook that's streaming this?
Yes, so it's Zach's little brother, but he's like 13 now or 12 now. So I don't.
This is a profit affair. We're just going to call this to the profit show.
That's right.
Professor of physics is a bitch, basically. Yeah, well, you know. I'm
look at
sipping
Lynn.
peach vodka. Okay,
Very nice.
that's why I love it. He was like 3 weeks
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, this was not vodka.
Yeah. All of a sudden, if you see Prospector, just do one of these.
So I haven't talked to Daniel since the game, but Daniel's a 49ers fan. So I don't know if he was listening earlier, but we'll chat when you come over next time, Daniel, about the game.
Yeah.
It was an interesting game, Levi Stadium. You know, hey, they finally beat the record, right? When they were losing by more than 5, they were 0-30. What?
0-30, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like there's that notch. 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Patrick. This was an interesting game. So we'll see on Thursday. We'll give our picks. You know, right? You know, that's right before all the plenty of games are going to be happening. Right? We'll figure out what else is going on with baseball as well. What's up, Eric?
If Bass would have made that field goal, I don't know how much. There was more than 13 seconds, so Mahomes would have had plenty of time to go down and score or get into field goal position. And any time that Harrison Butker kicked a field goal, I'm like, oh, must be nice to actually have a kicker that can make one. So I was pretty bitter every time that they kicked a field goal in the Chiefs game since we didn't. But oh, thanks, Rhonda. I got everybody fired up there at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
but yeah,
Eric.
there was still, even if Bass would have made that, there was still plenty of time that Mahomes probably could have. You know, there's always possibilities where he could have
kneeled
over.
it. He could have kneeled it down and then be like, all right, let's play for overtime.
Yeah, he's done it before. I mean, in that game against wasn't it like the Chiefs and Patriots? You know, that Mahomes Brady, they were both just marching down the field.
Yeah.
Well, the Bills, Chiefs and Bills did that.
Game.
Chiefs and Bills did the same thing,
Chiefs
and then
and
that overtime. That's why the overtime rule changed because of that game.
And but then they had it where it was like 13 seconds left, and he went down and had 2 passes, got him into field goal range.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Tied it up. So
that's what it was.
So it's, I don't know. I've heard people say McDermott, is he on a hot seat now since he can't? I mean, they keep losing to the Chiefs basically. So that's
How about this? It is all contingent on whether or not someone signs in Atlanta. How's that?
Yeah.
Don't worry. He's already looking for places in the ATL. He's
there was a report that came out that there was a lot of people within the Atlanta organization that don't want Belichick to sign with Atlanta because they're trying to save their jobs.
If he signs with Atlanta, he's going to be about 5 minutes down the road from me at training camp. So he's going to find out that we have short sleeve hoodie weather.
That's his thing, shorts and a hoodie. So
he's sold short sleeve hoodie weather.
I'm good with that. I wear hoodies all the time. Harbaugh to the Chargers. Yeah, oh yeah.
But then also Carroll, did you read what Pete Carroll's interviewing there too, possibly?
I
saw that. One of you texted that earlier.
Pete, no, Pete was vying for the Chargers. He's like, I want to go to the Chargers. The Chargers are like, no, we don't want you.
Yeah, but did I not say weeks ago that I thought that Harbaugh would probably look to get the Chargers job? I said because
that's
California,
that's the perfect spot for him.
Yeah,
what's Pete Carroll going to do then?
You what?
What's Pete Carroll going to do then if Harbaugh goes to the Chargers?
He'll take a college job.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so at his age?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He'll take a college job.
Does
There's
Hawaii,
no other.
does Hawaii have an open job?
He may sit a year too.
He could, or because no one is talking about what the Panthers are going to do either.
Oh, he's gonna go.
Morgan's not hiring him. I can tell you that right now.
No, he's gonna go take the Panthers job. And
No.
Pete Carroll and Pete. He's gonna become Pete Carolina.
In Carolina, they're going to have a. God.
See, Ed, you couldn't even ignore that one.
Oh, God.
And these people in the chats love these puns.
They're here for the content, man. They're here for the content.
At least with the funny thing is he's doing the dad jokes, and he's the only one out of this group that's not a dad.
That's the truth. That's facts. That's facts. Ironic, isn't it?
Oh God.
He's just training. He's training.
I was just gonna say he's just getting there. All right, boys. So I told Donnie this, but and Eric tonight, this week I didn't do it last week or this week. I did not pick a hat for the Dad Hat, Wheel of Dad Hat. So today I'm gonna make a pick. All right, so I'm gonna do it live, but I'm still gonna do another one with my daughter. But this one counts for last week. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the hats that I picked. These are all Copa brands, okay? I think because of the more vibrant colors. So, guys, this is it. These are the hats that I have here, okay? And I picked these hats for the simple fact that all of these teams have a dad hat. I looked. There's some that don't have it, okay?
The winner of the NFL picks this past week gets
I think you should make this exciting.
Yeah, okay. Eric, go first. What'd you say?
I said this is the winner, whatever the hat that the wheel lands on goes to the winner of this past week's NFL picks.
No, because I'm no.
He should make this.
And Linda's about to drop her I still get a hat, right? And Patrick, what were you gonna say?
I think you should make this interesting and put a 5950 on there, just to as like a kind of like a get another turn. Let's make this really interesting and put one 5950 and then the rest of them dad hats and just see what happens.
That's like the bankrupt slot on Wheel of Fortune.
And if it lands on the
dad hat Wheel of Fortune, that's the bankrupt slide. He's gonna do it, isn't he?
I did.
I will celebrate if it turns.
There it is. Look, the yellow. There it is. 5950.
Yes, sir.
So the hat either goes to Patrick or Ed just doesn't get a hat.
Or Ed just doesn't get a hat. Most likely Ed won't get a hat. All right, you guys ready?
I was rooting for Dolce's de Sugarland before you put that on there. Now
you're just rooting for a 5950.
I'm rooting for chaos.
Yeah,
hey, that's my line, Donnie.
Poke.
Here we go.
Listen, I'm here for it. And Eric, I'm sorry that I interrupted you, my friend.
No, you're good. Ooh, I saw the Mama Juanas on there. There it is. The poke.
There it is.
Pensacola.
Can you bring that up so everybody can see which one that is?
I'm going to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one right there.
So that is going to be
all of them are good ones.
Yeah, they're all good ones.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
Front of Doors is a fantastic one too. That's the one that started out as a clink room design that Fredericksburg picked up.
Yep. Although they're still charging a crap ton of money on this one, so I just
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that when it came up. I was like, he wins the most expensive one.
I did. Well, 5950 would have been the most expensive one.
Donnie, since you grew up in that day and age, can you explain what poke to poke is?
Wow.
I'm not Johnny. What are you talking about?
Well, I was gonna say Johnny, but I don't think he's on here anymore, so that's why I just
I can't say much. I'm older than Johnny. So
normally I would go with Johnny on that.
So here I want to show it to you guys, and it's $38.
Respin.
Did you hear that, CFO?
You should have scanned these better before you put them on there.
That's the truth.
I just like it so much, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's such a clean looking hat. Look at that thing, man.
Yeah.
It was played with the Aztecs. The problem is with this game, it was you lose more than just a game. That's the problem, right? You lost your life. You were sacrificed. So you didn't want to play this game.
Yeah.
Look at that. Someone in Englewood, United States, purchased a Pensacola Blue Wahoos just now.
Man, I was hoping it was going to say someone in North Carolina just purchased the poke to poke.
So I'm
I was gonna say,
confused.
wow, Ed, that's quick.
So at the top it says poke to toke, but at the bottom it says poke to poke and poke to toke. So which is it, both, or which one is it? Because it says it both ways, poke to poke or poke to toke.
Interesting.
Huh. Good catch.
Or is it pock to pock? I know Ben Hill's talked about it quite a bit, that he's not sure how to pronounce it on the Show Before the Show podcast.
Puck to tuck. Hey, someone just bought a Franklin in Franklin, United States. So there you go. Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna find out how to say this because it's driving me nuts.
Well, it's actually listed both ways on the internet. There's Pock to Talk, the ancient Maya ball game, and Pock to Pock, the Maya ball game. So it's either or, I would think.
I think it's just a pronunciation, I guess. Then
Maybe.
Yeah.
Poke to toke, poke toke. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is a cool hat. So Ed is getting that hat, and then we'll be showing it on the One Daily. So we'll see.
Do a live with the CFO, and I can say, how much was that?
We will not be doing that. That's just, what would you do? Obviously, he's not married.
Nope.
Nope. No.
Didn't
No,
I
would never ever do that seriously.
Yeah. Well, just wait till you come to North Carolina, and then I'll be like, babe, talk to him. That's the guy. Blame him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because at this point, with all the body of evidence you have, I'm the one to blame.
Yep. Well, 100%.
Yeah.
But all of you,
this?
every single one of you are bad influences.
Not a dad hat. Not a dad hat.
Yeah, you don't own a lot of dad hats, but yet you find a way to send us on the team thread a bunch of dad hats. Hey guys, look what just dropped. I'm like, me cago en la madre.
Says the guy that said, sale is 47, and then 47 got a whole bunch of my money. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We did talk about that.
And then Donnie Somerset has Donnie Wise to thank today for the pre-order. I was like, man, it wasn't even like 5 minutes, and I'm like, thanks, Donnie. I was trying to focus on work, and then I get this text from Donnie, and it's like, great.
Patrick is like, all right, fine.
I threw that at you guys and the 47 sale at Gwinnett. So
thankfully,
I'm like, y'all spend my money, I'm spending yours today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I even
come
saw
on.
47.
That flight.
Yeah. I even
What
saw.
you said, Eric?
I said, yeah, Lynn, get that flight. Come to Durham.
Yep.
Lynn, I haven't gotten to meet you yet. Please come to Durham.
Durham,
awesome.
both. Hey, let's go, Lynn.
Met her last year.
Listen, all four of us are going to be here for that weekend, so we're all going to be here. Have some fun with us. You got to start preparing for that budget. Your wife is going to give you one day, Patrick.
You aren't lying, Shannon. You aren't lying.
Just get ready. I got literally just showed my wife. She's like, no. I was like, you're right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
I've got to learn to enjoy the ones that I have, because those are the ones I'm going to have.
Enjoy them. Enjoy them. And then you're gonna have to put them in a closet somewhere for after that. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna have to budget for a one of those what do you call them, storage units, because she's gonna say you're not gonna have all those in here. So
when my wife asked me the other day, like, because I told her, like, I really want to put them up, but I can't because like I'm in the office. She was like, you can put them all up in the garage. I'm like, no. That's not going to happen with mold and moth and getting destroyed. What are you, out of your mind?
She was trying to slowly take them out.
I was offended by this. I'm like, wow.
She's playing the long game. Put them out there and watch them.
Also looking just to make sure.
Listen, I'm gonna put the Eric Mertens clause in my marriage contract. I'm allotted so many hat walks.
I literally showed this to her, and she's like, I just said, hey, look at, check this out. Right. That's all I said. Check this out. She looked at me. She goes, no. So
yeah.
Good luck, Patrick. You can put that on a clause on a marriage license all you want, but it ain't happening.
Listen, the
So
closest I'm going to get to a clause is the ones on a bear because there's no way that's ever going to pass muster in any contract that I have.
Ling, look at flights out of MSP. Sun Country has flights of around 150.
And
Oh,
when
wow.
you fly out of MSP, grab Eric and bring him with you.
I was just gonna say, wow, correct. Eric, you're coming, right? Come meet us down here.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go around the horn here. What you guys got going on this week? I'll start the way I that we ended. Patrick, talk to me.
Okay, I'm glad you always ask me because I always forget what I did for the week.
All right,
No,
and
yeah, no, I'm good.
Eric.
I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good. So Hat History Series drops tomorrow. Thanks for all the support. This week is the Lancaster Barnstormers of the defending champions of the Atlantic League. So you get to hear a little bit about, for those that probably already know what barnstorming is, and a little bit of history and a couple of hats. So check it out, and thanks for all the support.
Love it, love it. Eric.
So we have poet and author E. Ethelbert Miller on this week. He's written some books about some Negro League players and a lot of fun. We were introduced to him by one of our former guests, Sandy Marchetti. So he jumps on, and he's been a professor as well. So really good episode on the Earned Fun Average coming out tomorrow with E. Ethelbert Miller.
Love it. Speaking
Supposedly
of
it's
Negro
average,
Leagues,
guys.
right? Exactly, right.
Guys,
They're
supposedly it's
getting big.
average.
But speaking of
Yeah.
Negro Leagues, I just found this. There's a whole new season of this podcast called Reclaimed, and it's the season 3 is all about the forgotten league, the Negro Leagues baseball. So very cool. If you guys have some time to listen to that, that's a pretty cool series there. So, Mayor,
Going on vacation.
Oh.
Ron and I are doing a cruise this weekend, leaving on Thursday, come back Monday.
Rhonda, you deserve it.
So hopefully Thursday night show, if Wi-Fi goes well, and looks like I've already frozen up maybe here. If the Wi-Fi holds out,
this is what we're gonna see doing.
I was just saying,
hope not.
He's
Doing
practicing
the-
for Thursday. He's practicing for Thursday.
I'll be broadcasting from somewhere in the Atlantic.
Listen, if you're gonna freeze, just make sure you make a silly face, like
you know,
the whole time.
And make sure you
You
have
know
like
what I mean?
that's like a background, Donnie Wise for mayor, so that way your constituency can remember to vote.
Yeah, mayor for mayor, and then just do like
Yeah,
and then just
Donnie
talk the whole
Wise.
time.
everybody's mayor.
I
Everyone's
think you
mayor.
can remove the screen, like the voice, like see, like, let's see. Nope, that's not it. We'll figure it out. But
There we
that's
go.
pretty
Now I'm
cool.
back.
All righty. Thanks, Patrick.
Yes,
I work
you
hard for this
did.
vacation. There it is.
You
And then
deserve it, Rhonda.
as far as the Dad Hat, every day I'm dropping a new video with a new Dad Hat. Today was. Does anybody know?
Oh man, I watched
Tim
it.
Minor league
Jackson.
baseball team.
Missoula
I'm- I'm
Paddleheads.
minor
Tim
league
Missoula
Jackson.
Paddleheads, that's right.
It was a minor league baseball team. Yes, congratulations, Prospector. And then obviously we'll be here on Thursday for the Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show. And then this week I dropped with Sam Dykstra, the episode with Sam Dykstra. This is only a one-parter with this one. I couldn't
Right.
separate it into two. It just didn't make any sense. So I released the whole thing. And this was really good. It was a really good episode with Sam Dykstra of the show before the show.
Yes,
I
it
listened to
was
that one
really
today
good.
while I was working. That was a very good one.
Yeah.
Sam's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool, right?
Every-
Like, for them to have a good podcast like that, for them to be so like, yeah, I work for Major League Baseball. Sure. I'll come, I'll come to your podcast. So that was pretty awesome of them. I really
Yeah.
appreciated that.
Man, Ed Rivera's like a Rick Ross song. Every day he's hustling.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday night, I forgot, Patrick, you and me, we're doing our hat discussion. We moved it from Tuesday because everybody was telling us about it. So we moved it to Sunday night.
Oh, I was hopping on and getting ready to watch you guys tonight, and then didn't show up. So I cleaned the kitchen instead.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can clean the kitchen and watch on Sunday night. How's that?
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be dirty by then. So
Yeah, I
I'll
was gonna
clean it.
say.
Don't worry, Shannon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Shannon, did you hear that? He volunteered to clean the kitchen on Sunday.
He knows. I always clean it.
I same thing here. I clean it, so that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we will see you guys and chat. Thank you guys. You guys were awesome. Thank you for the interaction. We
Shout out
will
to the
see
chat.
everybody on Thursday night. Hopefully, we'll have the mayor with us 9:00. Patrick might show up, maybe not. We don't know about Mike. Mike is somewhere. He's part-time at this point. So I think he's been booted
Mike's
to
caught up in the Australian Open. See, we talked about tennis.
God.
We're done.
Gross. All righty. I'll see you guys. Bye.